What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm going to be looking at our E-mini futures contract today, going into our monthly, down to our weekly, daily, and our intraday 30-minute time frame. Going to be going over what occurred throughout the week, how we're closing out the week, and our daily balance, and then looking at a trade that I took today, as I did not participate much. Before we get into it, if you guys do not mind, please leave a like and comment down below if there's anything I can explain better. If you are new, subscribe, as we'd like to have you join the team here at Castle Capital and hopefully learn something along the way. If not, just get some confirmation on how your trade lines up with mine or anybody else's. So in yesterday's video, if you did not watch it, I do recommend going back and watching at least the initial part because I reviewed this big key level here in that we have been approaching in April at the beginning of this week. We kind of got near it last week or towards the end of March. Coming into April now, we've pushed into it, but we are not finding much acceptance inside or above that range. I was explaining in yesterday's video, the better risk reward trade is a short against this area. If you are somebody of interest on the swing side, playing the larger time frames is a short into this area. As you know, the risk reward to the upside is not very good, but to the downside is much greater. Obviously, anybody that bought here or bought here, they're going to be getting out of their trade amongst this once we get near our balance high. Balance rules are massive, so once you get near a balance high or a balance low, you look to take it out, right? So far, we're trading in a 4-month balance, making it 5 so far with this month, but there's still a lot of time left as this is only the beginning. So trading in between the 4208.50 and 3788.50 range on our monthly. Not much has changed here, just chop it around in a balance. Now let's go into our weekly, keeping the same destinations on the screen here, just so you can see how we've been managing to come off of this area. So far, we've been one time framing up on our weekly time frame. After coming out of this tiny balance, we're one time framing up 2 weeks in a row. 1, 2, pushing into this area where we needed to find acceptance. If you look here, we've got a couple of weeks where we've rejected. We have rejected from this 41.41 to 4208.50 area. That 4200 level is massive for the sellers to defend and buyers to get over. So far this week, we are closing out the week with a balance and a doji. In yesterday's video, I was kind of describing how you would possibly look to close this week out with the doji and then take out the weekly low to put ourselves into a 3-week balance initially to find buyers. You want to find buyers, accept higher price up here, and then maybe a little consolidation and move up, right? We've had a pretty decent move up to the upside. We want to see now the buyers step in on a consolidation pullback, which would be healthy for the market in the long run. What you do not want to see is us come into a balance and then continue to take out the balance low and rotate down to the monthly balance low. But for now, the weekly is one time framing up, and the likelihood or the MGI, the market generated information, favors us setting a new weekly high. However, we are pushing into this big area of resistance, so that is an area that we have to watch out for. Do not want to be longing into this area, at least me personally. Now let's go into our daily time frame, and we can show you how we are kind of rejecting on our daily. Oh, that is way too much. I do that at least once every other video. Still have not gotten a new mouse. But you can see on our daily time frame, after breaking out of our balance area here, one time framed up 1, 2, 3 days in a row, and then came back into a balance after getting into that area and not finding acceptance above the 41.41 to 42.850 area. So far, we've rejected and pulled back a little bit, putting ourselves into a nice little balance. I'll show you that here. Nice balance on our daily time frame. We are just chopping back and forth inside of this range, and I can show you on our 30-minute chart, intraday trading, how we've been trading inside this range. So far, this is what we look forward to coming into next week. Monday you look to take out either the balance low or the balance high. But for now, we are just chopping around inside this area. I believe we have numbers coming out tomorrow, some economic data that will be coming out. But because it is Good Friday, futures are open, but I will not be trading it. We'll have a good long weekend to kind of digest that number and then see how we come out of this area if we do at all come Monday or next week. But like I said, I feel like the more healthy thing is to come out of this daily balance to the downside, putting the weekly into a balance, back testing this 50-day moving average or even the 20, and coming into this area where a gap fill would be inevitable at some point in time. We also have a very tiny gap here at 88.50 to 87.75. So if we break this area, we'll fill that tiny gap and then look to rotate down into this much larger daily gap that we have here where we closed here and then gapped up. So that is the game plan for next week. That is what I'll be looking for, is a break of this balance low. See if we can get some movement out of it. We'll be one time framing down on the daily at that point in time. But do not forget that today was an outside day up, meaning we took out yesterday's low and yesterday's high, closing above it today. So far, buyers defending that balance low area as we've gotten near it 2 times now, but have not gotten have not broken below it. Excuse me, have not broken below that balance low area just yet. Once we get that data, we'll see how the market digests and which way we will come out of this market. But right now, just chopping. All right, now let's get into our 30-minute time frame and show you guys how we traded today. Right now, you're looking at the 30-minute time frame. Let me bring this down. All right, you can see us trading inside of this channel area. This is what our daily has been looking like. This is the exact same balance that you just seen on our daily chart, but this time around as our 30-minute time frame. So you can see that we've been just chopping back and forth, got near our balance low, and then rotated back up a little bit. We set our balance high up here. We have not tested it yet. So maybe we come into it Monday, test the balance high, reject, roll over, and then finally take out the balance low potentially. If we do take out the balance high, we'll be one time framing up once again. We end today with a double distribution day. And we actually have 2 double distributions. Surprisingly, both of them being outside days. So back on this day, we had a double distribution, took out the previous day's high and the previous day's low. Double distribution. I'll highlight those real quick so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. This whole area here. That is not what I wanted to click. This area here was one distribution, and then this area right here was another distribution. So inventory got sold up here, redistributed down here. And then we have another double distribution today with an outside day down, or excuse me, an outside day up this time around, where we had inventory absorbed here and then redistributed up here. One thing I want you guys to notice is the gap in between. That is where single prints were, right? We had single prints here, single print there, single print here, single print here. So we had a double distribution day into our double distribution day. Cannot ignore that today was an outside day up, but in not a very strong fashion as volume was relatively low on this push up. So let me pull up our destinations and show you guys. So in A period, we opened up, took out the previous day's low, and could not get down below B's low by very much margin. Matter of fact, we couldn't even get to our balance low. If I pull up this basic tech where I have supply and demand levels kind of marked on our 30-minute chart, you can see we pulled back into that area and could not get below it for very much time. Then in B period, after we tested the previous day's low, we rotated up, and then guess what? We one time frame up for the rest of the day. Kind of chopped around down here, A, B, C, and D. And after that, E period opened up, could not get back to A's high. And that was kind of a telltale sign that because we could not come back through the opening, we held that things were kind of changing in the favors of the favor of the buyers, as value at the time was overlapping the lower, and the sellers had gotten the overnight low and the previous day's low early on. But buyers stepping into the market decided to change the market generated information by not getting back to A's high and not getting back to the open to get 5 for 5 wide. So point of control was slowly beginning to move up. After that, E took out D's high, and we've got a nice push up to the upside and got more extension in F period after taking out E's high. So creating a nice set of single prints in here for us to lean on pullbacks. However, I did not get involved on the grind up. I didn't get involved on the pullbacks. The only trade that I took was a short against these single prints up here, as I seen that we had just been kind of consolidating for a little while. G, H, I, J, not doing much. J period didn't get much extension above I's high. So I felt like buyers were kind of getting exhausted up here a little bit. And so once we pushed up, I seen that we couldn't even get into the single prints. I felt like the buyers were kind of weak, running out a little bit of steam, and I wanted to see how much of it we could leak out. So I got short 34 right above J's high. Got short right in here. Let me bring this up. Got short right around J's high, 34, 33s. Nice 5 lot, added up to a 10 lot, and as this thing came in, my target was F's high right here at 2650 and the previous day's high at 2775. But once we rotated down in K period, we got to 29. We pushed up, consolidated a little bit, and then L period opened up, pushed up, and then finally took out K's low. We got a decent push below K's low at 29. We pushed down to the previous day's high, and I got out of my trade completely because it was kind of a slow move to the downside. It wasn't. I wanted to see some volume pick up. I wanted to see the buyers kind of panic and get out of their positions by selling. That's kind of what I was looking for. I wanted to see some good volume and push to the downside. Didn't really get that initially. So once we got to 27.75, I took that trade off. I was looking for 26.50, so I figured why not? I'm only not getting the 1.5 that I wanted. So 27.75 was a great trade. Ended up on the day 31 points. Overall 31 and a quarter on the day with the MES. Once again, like I said, I'm not trading the minis. I will be trading the micros from here on out, just because the risk is a lot less, and I feel a lot more comfortable trading the micros versus the minis. But we did get that pullback and then held the set of single prints below us. So ending with a today's high, today's low, a double distribution, and a set of single prints. All that to lean on. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this area. We got today's low down here at 96.50. 96.50, and then we can kind of review some other trade ideas that was available. 13.50 was where the single prints will fill. 4.623. That is the wrong spot. Single prints fill. Or 623. We have our low of day down here. Do not know why I did not label that. My brain is not working today. 623. Low of day. Single prints fill here because when we come into it, you want to see it fill to that point. Then we have a set of single print that where they start here at 21.25. 21.25 is where that set of single prints will start. And all single print is an intraday gap. That's all it acts as, intraday gap. And then we have where the single prints start here at H is low at 2454 or 2450, excuse me. Single prints will start here because we had 2 sets, back-to-back sets. And they fill at 2150, but I'm not going to mark that area just because it's basically F slow. You get F slow, you get into the next set of single prints. Then we have our high of day at K's high, 3525, high of day. High of day. Boom. And there's our destinations. So we got our upper distribution that starts at 35. The upper portion of the distribution is 3525 to 412450. So 4135.25 to 4124.50 is the upper distribution. The lower distribution is 4113.50 to 4096.50. Everything in between is a gap, and you would look to fill in that area, just like you look to fill in this gap up here. One thing I'll do is go to our basic tech and kind of highlight this area with supply, or not supply, but area of demand. So we should expect buyers in here, but you want to fill in this area. Should expect buyers, but you would look to fill in that area. And then you have another small section right there. We'll label it 2 different colors of green just because it helps my eyes. Actually, that didn't help anything. We'll do that. Try that. Okay, so if we pull back kind of like we did today into this area, you'll look for it to either hold or fill, more likely fill, but potential area of demand in that spot. Back to our destination. So if we open up in the upper distribution, take out today's high, you will look to fill the upper sets of single prints from that double distribution down and get into the upper distribution and potentially test our balance high of 4163.25. So you take out today's high, you will look to take back 4136 to 4138.75 single prints, and then get into the next set of 4140.50 to 4143.50, where the bottom of the upper distribution begins, and then rotate to the top of our balance. If you open up in today's upper distribution and cannot take out the day's high or even fill the first set of single prints, you will rotate over and look to backfill and test the lower portion of our upper distribution that starts at 4124.50. Single prints fill at 4121.50. So you'll look to backfill a little bit there. If you do that, then good chances are to fill from 4121.25 down to 4113.50. And any exception in the lower distribution, you will go trade at the day's low of 4096.50. Take out that low, you will go trade at or near our balance low of 4088.50. You take out our balance low here, you'll fill that tiny gap here at 4087.75, and then look to rotate lower. After that, there's a pretty big vacuum. 20-point gap, or not 20-point gap, but a 20-point ride down to the downside at 4061.25. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you made it to the end of these videos, you are a trooper. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Troopers, you guys are. Catch you guys later. See ya.